Yo, Bash, you been tripping on them hoes.
Burn Live, y'all. Burn Live. Welcome to another show. Marijuana keeping you connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers' eye red, keeping underage smoking off social media, killing ourselves for your entertainment. Sitting here with friends and families to start a cannabisation, something we all definitely need. Welcome to another episode. Sorry, I have been gone for about a week. I was sick, ladies and gentlemen. I know I switched up my schedule. Very bad. We were growing. We was growing good. Like I said, I got sick. I got real sick. I couldn't do nothing. Couldn't come on. I couldn't perform. Couldn't talk. Had no energy. Had no to want to get up out the bed and come to do a show and sit here and talk to you guys about the good things that are going on. So we have missed a lot of things that have been going on out here in the world and in America. And I have learned some things. I've been sitting back watching videos, but you know what I'm saying, still trying to keep up with the Joneses, understanding that everybody nowadays in the modern era is not watching regular television. You might not know everything that's going on in the world today. I notice a trend that most people are getting their information from podcasts or somebody who's taking the time out to sit in front of a camera, who wants to speak the truth, who wants to gather information to help you understand situations better. Okay, we're at a time an era where you can't go to the news because all the news places are reporting the same, and you gotta get information the correct way or the most reliable way. And it's basically somebody off of TikTok or somebody off of Facebook, Instagram, or X, anywhere where you're getting your local information from. And by me saying this is I appreciate anybody in the past, present, and for the future who comes onto my show. I'm like, hey, I come to you for good information. I come to you because you keep it real. You're very blunt. You don't hold nothing back. You're not a sugarcoating person. You really try to say it as much abruptly and boldly as possible. You try not to sugarcoat things, make it more real as possible. And there have been some debates, arguments. There have been some allegations, alleged crimes that have happened out here in the world today, recently, past, present, that has really sparked up this confusion. You got women that stealing alcohol that get shot by the cop. You got police officers. Where you basically got people protesting like, hey, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, she still got shot by the cop. She shouldn't have had got shot. Understandable. I'm not promoting violence. But if you're going into a store to steal, you're probably are going to, there's some punishment with crime. And in this community, in this world that we're so called living in, which is weird, there are a bunch of people, there are a group of people who really feels like they don't deserve to be convicted of crime. There are a group of people who feel like they should not be convicted of crimes when they are committing them. There are a group of people who say that, hey, my peoples have been through a lot. My people have been through, what I'm saying, adversity, aggressions, a lot of these words that tries to represent a time that isn't now, so people can feel bad and like, oh, okay, all the rioting and gun stealing and loitering in the streets in Chicago, California, New York City, when you got these people stealing crazy, just stealing. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're in here stealing. I didn't raise you like that. Yeah, you sort of kind of did. You sort of kind of did. You raised a person to believe in what they want to believe in, and that's sort of your fault. And these are things that are going on. So you got unsensible killing. You got people that are stealing for no reason. They're stealing because they can't provide food on the table, or something like that. And then you also got people who's not from here that's taking over housing, who has like I said, who doesn't belong here. They're getting 6 months of free housing. They're getting checks once a week and stuff like that. These are stories and things that have been going on for the last literally week and a half that's been going on that I haven't been able to cover. I just thought I would sum it all up before we get into a story or something and get deeper into a show. You know what I'm saying? This is the Burn Live Show, y'all, where we marijuana keeping you connected, break down you some weed, smoke your blunt, hit your joint, hit your dab, do whatever it takes to get relaxed and comfortable and get into these very controversial topics that you may feel a little hard to talk about. And I think the harder the conversation is to talk about, those are the conversations that we definitely need to have. Burn Live was strictly about weed. It turned into politics and things that truly matter, to have the cannabisation that we need to have. And that's have been my goal. That has been my strive. It has changed, but that has been my goal. That has been my strive. That has been the thing that I mostly have been looking out for. Now, this first story I should cover. You know, y'all know we cover marijuana stories first, so we definitely gonna get into some marijuana stories. More about feds declassifying marijuana and what are the proper procedures into making it very legal and affordable for everybody everywhere. You got India, you got North Carolina, you got Tennessee, you got Oklahoma. You have these states that are very young and new, who are sitting here and getting into the cannabis nature. They're becoming federal. That they're being looked at. So these are good things. The bad part about good things is the crime that's behind it that nobody looks up and nobody talks about. Those are the things that seem to be issues, things that seem to happen that nobody talk about. And then people want to talk about how the GOP is anti-cannabis. I got this story right here. It's actually a short, and it's very interesting to see. Like, do they really think that the DOC is anti-marijuana? I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Put it down in the comments. Let's get into this.
Today is Friday, September 8th, and on today's High at 9 News Hour, we cover stories such as an Indian tribe within North Carolina votes to legalize marijuana, snubbing an anti-cannabis GOP congressman. Pennsylvania state senators say medical marijuana card is no proof for a DUI and the laws need to change. Potency and safety analysis of hemp Delta 9 products versus the hemp versus the cannabis kratom problem. We go into a deep dive. Also, California lawmakers vote to decriminalize psychedelics and move forward with cannabis cafes. Parents should be punished if kids find their weed in their stash, as some New Jersey lawmakers are saying. And lastly, the New York State Subcommittee is going to hold its first public hearing on the implementation of legal cannabis. You won't believe what they're saying about this. Today is Friday.
Those are very Very, very good topics. I was just making sure that them topics wasn't truly negative, in which they wasn't. Some, hey, I'm feeling New Jersey. I'm feeling New Jersey. If you're finding weed, you're in my stash, yes, there needs to be some type of punishment to where a parent can punish a kid for getting into that stash without inviting the law abiding citizens. Yes, I believe that is something that definitely needs to be checked on, looked on, and infiltrated into the household. Yes, I'm down with that. I heard stories. I've been part of stories where you've been inside a house and you ain't getting no weed because the weed is gone because somebody done took it. But you can't punish him because you don't want the laws to get involved. I'm with that. Let's get into this Tennessee and see what's going on. Yeah.
We're filling up our jails with these folks, and honestly, I mean, poor folks wouldn't get the same representation as somebody that I grew up with, possibly. And I think we've got some bigger problems in this world.
Here in Tennessee, Democrats have pushed to open the state up to at least a medical program, as support in polls is continuously high.
Anytime that you take a poll and you find out that your thinking was different from the people's thought, it will give a hit to your ego sometimes.
A concept even some Republicans are on board for. But the movement continues to die year after year.
Anything good you need from marijuana, anything good you think can come from marijuana, you can get from hemp. So I'm 100% against any kind of legalization of marijuana.
Madison County Republican Representative Chris Todd is referring to Delta 8 and Delta 10, which are legal in the volunteer state. In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.
And keep in mind, Chris has done a deep dive into the difference between cannabis and Delta 8 and Delta 10 in past stories. So if you would like to watch those, you could go to WKRN.com. We posted them there for you. Well, with that potential decision up in the air, we want to know, what do you think? Are you in favor of easing marijuana restrictions?
I am not with easing marijuana restrictions in states where crime overrates the marijuana, where marijuana laws are affected by crime that goes on. That's what I mean by no. I am against it. If marijuana is smoked, but there's crime affecting you smoking, like thievery, like stealing, like abuse of marijuana, then no, you shouldn't be going. Trafficking, no. If you can't do it the right way, you shouldn't do it at all, because you're giving the opportunity for criminals to come and take over. And then what? That's the part where, so, that's just my opinion. Yeah, y'all see the little QR code. Go ahead, put the QR code up there and get started. Put your 2 cents in, help Tennessee on out if you think that they should be going recreational. It might be a good thing.
If you go and scan that QR code that's up on the screen right now, or go to WKRN.com, you can give us your take on this topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I always explain and talk about the different reasons of why marijuana should or should not be recreational or medical in certain states with certain things that go on. I'm going to keep preaching it, but I'm going to keep showing you the stories too. It's not like the stories are that misleading. It's just letting you know.
Shifting weed from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 is the wrong move. It will do absolutely nothing to legalize weed or get the tens of thousands.
And here's another reason. Here's somebody else that agrees with me, and here's their reasons of why.
Thousands of people incarcerated for cannabis-related offenses out of jail. All it does is change its status from a drug with, quote, no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, to one with, quote, moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence. It puts cannabis in the same category as things like ketamine and anabolic steroids, but it doesn't move it out of the Controlled Substances Act, which means that it will still be illegal to possess under federal law. One thing Schedule 3 will do, though, is place fewer restrictions on scientists who want to study the plant, something they've had to jump through government hurdles to be able to do under Schedule 1. It would also theoretically allow cannabis to be available by prescription, but since there's no federal medical cannabis program, the more likely scenario in my mind is that pharmaceutical companies see this, jump on the weed wagon, and charge you out the ass for drugs they make and doctors prescribe. At the end of the day, rescheduling cannabis from 1 to 3 would be the biggest move the federal government has ever made concerning the plan. But the fact remains that there are tens of thousands of individuals, mostly people of color, who are incarcerated for cannabis-related offenses, and this move won't help keep anyone out. Descheduling it and decriminalizing it altogether is the only solution to that end. Shifting weed.
That was a good story. Also, y'all, I've been preaching on this channel for about a week or two, just not that long, that you really don't you really don't want the feds involved. You don't. You don't want the feds involved with your trafficking or smoking of weed. Because, yet again, you're going to give the feds the opportunity and the ability to go in your house and pass judgment on you, no matter how you feel or what you're doing. You do not want the government too involved. You want the government to let the states take care of this on their own. I know people like, man, you sound like Roe v. versus Wade. I know that's a totally different topic and subject, but outcome are just nearly the same, where you just don't want too many people in your business. After a while, it comes a problem where there's people in your business. When does it come too much? And I know people are like, man, this is never enough. Never too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. One of these days is going to be a little too much. Okay? Now, as I see, it's not that many brand new stories that actually have been popping off in the marijuana industry since I've been gone. I do apologize, y'all, but it is what it is. In other news, which I hope my audience don't get mad at me. Don't get too much at the mayor. There's not that much news in the marijuana like it normally be. Okay. Now, I do got this one story. I listened to it earlier. I definitely think it needs to be addressed on this show, just to just to get it out of the way, just so people can see, like, hey, this is how you think. These are the type of stories that I would cover when stuff comes out. It's not all about hurting your feelings. It's not all about proving a point. But if a point can be proven, if somebody's doing something that ain't right, if somebody's scamming somebody, like I'm finna show you in this video, when women going out here, oh, there's nobody to help me and nobody to do this and nobody to do that, then you're getting scammed. And then when people take their time out to investigate, then you got a problem. Then some people is like they're feeling some type of way. So this girl, everybody in the internet, I know y'all done heard this. The girl that got hit with the brick. Oh my God. Okay. So she got hit with a brick. She told us that don't men protect us, only women do. But now it comes out that she lied to us. And not only did she lie to us.
Injury, okay? And
not only did she lie to us.
She claims she got beat up.
You hear that? She claims she got beat up. Oh yeah, y'all. It's really finna go down. I want y'all to really don't leave and listen to this story all the way through. I am gonna stop it here and there so we can talk about it and discuss it. But it goes down, ladies and gentlemen. And you wondering why men don't protect women? This is 10% of the reasons why.
Y'all know that woman who got hit in the face with a brick because she wouldn't give a man her number? Me and my team just uncovered years of her getting mysteriously injured and then asking for money after. In 2020, she claims she got beat up, garnered almost $5,000. This is taken from her Facebook page, May 2022. Claims that she's injured and very subtly, not so subtly, says she needs money for her son's birthday. Literally 1 month later, she's seen asking for money again to fund a research project she's doing. Jump to February 2023. Here she is claiming she experienced violence at the hands of a white woman. 1 month later, claiming more hardships and trauma. Fast forward to now, she has garnered $50,000.
I am so pissed right now. That lady with a brick lied. Sat up there and lied on men. Thanks to these unqualified and freelance investigators and researchers on TikTok and YouTube, we now know the truth. If you go to this man's YouTube right now, he lays out all the facts. And check out these reputable websites. BX is reporting on it. This highly respected news website, lipstickalley.com, and this random Reddit poster have taken the time in between job searches to research this extensively and have discovered that this is a hoax.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We had to revisit this story once again about the feminist that got hit in the face with a brick. Allegedly, okay, and I'm using the word allegedly here very strongly in this video because there's reason to believe that this woman was lying, that this may have been a GoFundMe hoax. But nonetheless, before we get into it, this incident has sparked a whole lot of conversation on social media, mainly between black men and women about the topic of protecting black women, okay? Because apparently black women are victims and they're not protected enough in society. I mean, this has even sparked a conversation on the local news media in Houston about this idea of protect black women in regards to this story. Take a look.
I feel like black women are not being protected these days. I mean, but then I don't know if you watch social media, but then there are a lot of women on here who are saying, well, I don't need a man and I don't need this and I don't need that. So we kind of have to take accountability. If we're out here saying that, then are the men going to protect us? But I thought that chivalry is, I guess, is dead.
Y'all heard what she said in the beginning, right? I know women out here talking about men don't need to protect us. You're out here hearing the negativity. What's up, Michael? What's up, Donna? What's up, Rivers? Hi, everybody that's joining. I appreciate it. But y'all heard her saying that women don't need men. But then you want to ask for chivalry. Make that make sense, bro. You can't ask for both. You know, either women gonna protect women and you don't need us guys at all, or you need us guys and women aren't the protectors. Like, we need to, like, you gotta make up your mind. You have to, you gotta kind of make up your mind. I know you don't want to. I know people like, no, I don't have to make up my mind, Michael. I can do what I want to do. I can feel how I want to feel. Okay. You have more stories like this, bro.
Dead. Yeah. And buried. Latoya, right. Your thoughts about this? Number one, first of all, someone hitting her with a brick because she refused to give their number.
Let's get back to the scenario. Not the fact that she lied. Let's get back to the scenario.
Right. If all the facts are correct.
Absolutely. So I understand rejection is hard, right? But my real issue here, of course, I don't condone any violence and I don't like it. But the men that stood around and watched, people are no longer getting any type of help. in situations that they need help in. People are not being decent. People are making everything a joke, everything a moment to go viral. And this is this lady's health. You know, this could have went even worse, and she could still be in the hospital with severe damages. And so to see that nobody helped her, I mean, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Okay, this has sparked a conversation about protecting black women, and a lot of black women are boohoo, whining, and crying victimhood over this incident and talking about how, hey God, this happens to black women all the time. Nobody protects us. Nobody cares about us. Right? This is what they're doing. However, there's evidence to suggest that this whole thing could be a hoax, even though this woman has raised more than $40,000 to help with her medical expenses associated with this incident. But apparently this is something she's done in the past. Okay, she's posted videos on the internet of her boohoo, whining, crying victim, okay, of some type of assault. And then there's been GoFundMe started in which they've raised thousands of dollars on her behalf. Okay, so now she's being outed as a GoFundMe scammer. And there are people that are coming out of woodworks basically trying to prove that this woman is a scammer, okay, that this is a hoax, by saying that the swelling on her face is actually not from a brick. It is actually the result of an allergic reaction to, I don't know, fillers that she puts in her face or something like that. At least that's the theory, okay? What people are saying is that it wasn't a brick, it was something else, and there's evidence to suggest that all of this is a hoax. Take a look.
Rhoda here to remind you that every time you lie to somebody, you're taking away their choice. You're taking away the ability for them to make a decision that's good for themselves. And that's why I always lie to the people of the global minority and men.
My God, how did that get in there? Now, to understand why I feel like this woman is full of shit, June 2020. Thanks in advance to all.
This is where you get down to good investigations. Please don't leave because you're getting butt hurt or you're in your feelings. Smoke your weed, sit back, relax, and really watch and learn.
I really hope you can take the time to read my cause/project. She was asking for $2,000 and made it just roughly over half. Fast forward a few months later in 2020.
Grown ass try to beat me up. Grown ass try to beat me up for no reason. Look at me.
Her friend made her a GoFundMe. Here she garnered almost $5,000. Now, just a short 2 years later, she's back on social media, subtly-ish, not so subtly, asking for money. I got attacked and maced by men, fell down an escalator, injured my back, my toenail popped off, my tooth was chipped, my bank account was hacked, my friend of 12 years betrayed me, precious items were stolen during a move, diagnosed with pre-diabetes, irritable bowel syndrome flared up. It's my son's birthday this weekend. I have exams the following weekend. I'm still settling into a place and I have no funding for the entire summer. March of this year, here she is recounting how she was victimized some more. Here she is blasting a white woman for apparently committing violence against her. Now we fast forward to now. Her friend made another GoFundMe. She garnered almost $50,000. And these guys actually took a video giving their own story.
Like coming from the gas station. We just came from the gas station, right? And she was talking about she got hit with the brick, you know what I mean?
And then we was asking.
So we just like, what just happened, bro?
do?
Who just hit you with a brick? She talking about a guy in a suit.
The best friend claims that she's known Rhoda for 13 years. She got an entirely different story.
What did she say happened that night and what actually happened that night?
She basically said she was beat up by 4 black security guards.
Story changing. Now, this is the part where I'm saying, like, this lady goes out her way to go on other people's TikToks who does thorough investigation to find out the truth. When somebody has to go out their way to find the truth about you and what you're doing, that seems to be the problem when you're breaking down some things and you're like, okay, what is the truth? And then when you hear the truth, which is going to be played later on in the same video, when they get to the truth, you still want to ignore it. That needs to be another discussion, a real major discussion that we need to have, is why people could keep ignoring the truth. Why do we keep ignoring the truth? What makes the truth so scary and so hard that we have to ignore it and make up our own lies, our own allegations, just so we can feel better?
Okay. And she ended up getting dragged by black females.
One lady involved actually spoke to the manager of the club that she was at.
Place never ever happened. I was there all day, all time. Never. And I'm pretty sure the security was outside all the time. Nothing like that.
The security was outside. There is a nurse that has come forward that claims that she was at the clinic that this woman was at the night that she, filmed this video. All right, well, a nurse who was apparently there at that clinic says she asked to have saline removed from her cheek. I'm not buying this. I don't think that this is the actual nurse. Have any of you heard of HIPAA? Anybody who works in healthcare, mental health field, they are sworn to confidentiality and you cannot break that. One of the people who was originally investigating all of this actually called the police department, and this is what they said.
I mean, shouldn't we be looking for an assailant? Is he black? Is he white? Is he tall? Is he skinny? That should be something you're releasing to the public to warn other women. With all those people out there in Houston, are you telling me that you guys haven't received any calls about someone being assaulted? Can't you tell me that much?
Hold on.
No, ma'am. This is the first time I'm actually hearing about that. I don't have social media.
If this happened in public and a bunch of people called you guys, you would be able to tell me that, yes, we received a lot of calls about the incident. It's being investigated. You would be able to tell me that much, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if she made a report, then yeah, it would be investigated.
She got beat up by a
Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, we called the police department to make sure that this lady did and said what she said, but there's no proof. Deep.
Group of girls, and instead of claiming them as the perpetrator, she lied and said that a man did it.
She was trying to fight with another girl right there.
She ended up getting dragged by black females.
I don't want to believe that that's the case. Here's what I actually think happened. You'll notice in this video from over a year ago, take a look at the definitions, the shapes of it, XYZ. Now take a look to this video that was filmed before she got hit in the face with a brick, but after the video in which I just showed you screenshots from. Did her cheeks change definition? In this video, her one cheek looks the exact same as her cheek where she said that she got assaulted back in 2020 and garnered nearly $5,000 for this. I believe that this woman knew that she was going to be out filming that night, went, got her cheeks filled, which would explain why here in this video of her bitch slapping a man, her cheeks look plump, but they're not swollen. That night on her Instagram story, she posted a video in which she was wearing a ski mask. I believe that she went into a hot, sweaty club, drank a bunch of alcohol, started to get a bad reaction. I don't know where she got this ski mask from, but she put it on to cover her face and then went outside to stage an incident. It's actually very ill-advised to drink alcohol shortly after getting injections. The reason for this is because, this is what it looks like.
Oh, well,
Think
damn.
about it. After she posted that video and it gained traction, she took down her TikTok.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, this TikTok investigator has put together a thesis in regards to why she thinks that this woman faked her own injury, okay? And this whole story is a hoax. It is a scam. And you have people, as a result of some people on TikTok who have investigated this, calling it a hoax, now basically claiming that, yeah, this is a hoax, right? They're calling out this woman, saying that they got scammed out of their money. And you have some black women that are actually coping with this reality that this could, in fact, be a hoax. Take a look.
But first, I just want to say, I know I haven't really been on TikTok that much. Ever since hearing about this news and seeing how, like, people have responded to it,
Hello,
especially black men, it's really kind of made me depressed and sad. And I was thinking, like, I've lost all faith in humanity, the way people were responding. And it's like, being a black woman, it's just, it's like our lives aren't important. And I was saying, like, maybe we need to start Black women's lives matter, because fortunately, like, if it's a black male, everybody comes to defense. They're swimming in the ocean and they're throwing hats in the air and the bat signal, everybody comes, but when it's a black woman, it's crickets. Some people are saying that it's a hoax. and that she made it up. She was just had an allergic reaction, and apparently she's done this before in the past. There's video evidence of her doing it in the past as well. Apparently she scammed people out of
Same videos that we just got done watching, this lady just got done watching too. And you heard the denial that she doesn't want to accept it. Yet again, my question to people that watch this show, why can't we accept the truth? We seen it. The girl, okay.
the 41K doing a GoFundMe. And I don't really know if this is all true or not. I haven't really did any super duper research because I honestly couldn't care less.
Right there. I can honestly care less, but you care enough to where it affected you to where you had to post your feelings on TikTok. And a lot of people have been telling me, like, oh, yo, Michael, you know, things that you talk about and how you talk and the way you talk and the way you go, you need to be on TikTok. Like, you definitely need to be on TikTok. You know, people need to hear that shit talking. And I'm here to talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to not sugarcoat nothing no more. Motherfuckers need to wake up and understand that, damn, she did it. She lied. Women lie. Men lie. See, that's the problem. People don't want to. People are so tired of the lies that they ignore the lies that everything is true. She forget about her friends that used to lie to her when they used to tell her about stories about how dude used to do her friend. I'm talking about her cute friends. The one she considered cute. The one that was taking all the boys.
But I just wanted to come on here, even if it was a scam and whatever.
Even if it was. Hold on. Even if it was a scam. Right here, the admitting. So she admitted, even if it was. So, yes, it is a scam because you're not even going to go that far of saying stuff like that if it was false. If you knew it was false, you had any inkling it's false, you're not going to say if it was true. No. You're going to, okay.
Black women's lives don't matter as much as other people's lives. I feel like, on this totem pole, like it goes to white men, white women, black men, maybe black women, maybe, you know what I mean? And it's just like,
no, we don't know what you mean. Please alliterate. There are white men and white women and Asian people and black men out here that watches this show. No, we don't understand what you mean. I'm sorry if I'm not a female for one, and guess I'm not black. I'm American.
sad and disheartening. Just being born in this skin and being this gender, it's just
what?
It's hard. It's hard to deal with.
She shedded a tear.
It's stressful. And then plus being plus size on top of that, it just makes it 10 times worse. And I'm not conventionally attractive. That makes it worse. I guess I'm just using today as a video diary. If you guys are still here, kudos to you.
Yeah, so the cope is real there, okay? And I'm going to talk more about that video because that's like the whole point of this video is videos like that. But first, I actually want to play another video in which you do have some people like Conscious Lee that are still holding on to the narrative that this was not a hoax and that this was 100% real. And anybody who questions this, if you are not black, then you're probably racist.
She scammed us. She lied, just like Carly Russell. All you simps and panders is out there going at black men, trying to get us to put ourselves out there for a black woman that we ain't related to or we ain't putting that meat to. Oh, y'all tripping. That's what y'all sound like to me. Research over me search. Let's get into it. There's still people that believe this story. She has multiple videos up of her having a similar allergic reaction. She has multiple GoFundMe with similar incidents. And her friend, they say she is a scammer. There's no police report. The owner of the restaurant said that's not on film. There's no blood after the being brick. Come on, guys. We are CSI social media investigators and we graduated from YouTube University. How y'all gonna call out us on our investigation? Let's
This appears to be a video made by Rose showing you all her after visit summary, her police report. It's showing that she did have an emergency room visit. On September the 3rd, it was due to a facial injury caused by trauma. You can see the multiple CT scans that she did have. The results show that she has a bone injury. Below her finger shows the possible reasons for the bone injury. This here is her doctor note. So to all of you who are saying that she had saline injections or an allergic reaction, stop the fucking cap.
Why is certain things inked out? Unless that's just the name, so you don't get the names, and I totally understand. But come on, man. Yeah, see that she got the injury. What the report say? The report says that she got hit with a brick. Come on, people. Now, I ain't gonna play this video too much longer because y'all get the point. Y'all get the drift. Y'all get the point. Y'all get the drift. I'm not playing no games with nobody no more. I'm not playing no games with nobody no more. That's what one thing I was doing. I felt like I had a discussion. I felt like I was catering, because you know what I'm saying? I like when I go off camera and I talk to people, I am saying this stuff bluntly. I'm keeping it real funky and ballistic. But when I get on here, I feel like I sugarcoat things and try to ease because I'm on YouTube and I am trying to get somewhat of a building of an audience. But then I keep forgetting like who I am is not showing y'all who I am on here. And then when y'all meet me in person, y'all see me on here, it's like, So yet again, I'm on here to show and tell. Now, where is the other video? Y'all not finna play me. Yes, they is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we finna go back to the same type of thing of people who wants to believe a lie when the truth is out there. That's what I'm going for right now, and I'm finna find this other video. Here it is. Okay, so let me talk about it before I bring it up. I'm on a road today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on a road today. Everybody done heard about Miss Tika, the pregnant lady that got shot by the police for stealing alcohol. And I know y'all want to, oh my God, you bringing up another black female. They the ones in the headline. They are the headliner. Now, I would love to just go up here and do the Larry Elders show and break it down some things. So there are some smaller things so I can actually break that down. But I just want to go to this one. And then there's another one about guns. Oh, I got a special one about guns. I definitely wants to bring on here and share with you guys during my live stream. I have to. I have to. You know? Y'all making me realize something. Hold on 2 seconds. Hold on. Go get y'all some water and something real quick. Matter of fact, I'm just getting ready. I'm ready. Y'all must be ready. Well, everybody's ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I get deeper off into this part, I was going to go do something crazy, but I don't have to do it because, you know, it's going down. Listen, this video right here is exclusive, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty. There's not no BS.
All right, so we are back.
So we're back at it. And I'm just gonna shut up and then just put my 2 cents in.
With the story of Takaya Young, who was the woman who was fatally shot by police at the Kroger's market. Now, you guys have seen the tape if you watched this channel. And in that video, you see, they say, "You've stole something from the Kroger's, please get out the car." She refuses to get out. One officer goes in front of the car so she doesn't drive away, pulls his gun and points it to the windshield, is like, don't move the car, get out the car, get out the car. She refuses to get out the car. She hits the gas, hits the officer goes on top of the car. The officer discharges 1 shot, killing her. And now the officer happens to be white, she happens to be black, so it's a whole now Black Lives Matter issue. But this video, I want to show you guys how much propaganda the news media portrays on the public, and why a lot of people who believe the mainstream media is unbiased don't really understand that they're not.
Now, I'm making this video too because I have people at my job that I hear this from every day. I hear the whispers. And then when I speak out on it, "Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about." But I'll be like, go watch my channel. That's why I'll be like, go watch my channel. I do video. I do 2-hour segments. I go get information, footage, receipts. And I appreciate people that work harder than me. They go get the receipts better than I do.
Pushing an agenda and a narrative to make you deaf, dumb, and blind to facts and more emotional. So here is the Associated Press, which is pure mainstream media. Most of the other mainstream sources get their news from the Associated Press. So I want you to see this video that they have and how they're portraying Takaya Young.
Takaya Young was fatally shot by police in a parking lot on August 24th. She was 21 years old and pregnant. Her unborn child also died. Her family is now mourning her death.
So many plans that she had is taken away because of that man. Vivacious, the light of the party, just a bright shining light. That's it. Just celebrate her life, celebrate the person y'all knew her to be, and that would make me happy. And I know it'll make her happy. She'll be dancing on them clouds.
Now we have the surveillance tape of what happened inside the Kroger's alcohol section. And Takaya Young was not this innocent victim that people were portraying around to be. She was part of what it looks to be a larceny team.
It looks like it, y'all. It smells like it, y'all. Why is we going through this, y'all? Now, if we was all watching the same video, please share this out. If you have people that's on this lady's side, if you got somebody that's on this lady's side, you need to show her this video right here because damn it, it's gonna go down.
People who go into a store and as a team and steal items. Let's talk about it. All right, so we watched the unfortunate events play out with Takaya Young and the shooting that occurred. Now, I got to make a couple of things clear before we start going into this video, which is the surveillance video of Takaya Young's shoplifting. Now, at first, the media put it, they were just going for a nothing shoplifting. She's an innocent victim. She's a mother of two, this, right? And essentially making it seem like police targeted her just because of the color of her skin. That's the common theme here. But these officers had good reason to stop her. And that was because the employee, who's probably looking at the cameras, probably was saying, hey, that woman just stole from us and she needs to be stopped. So the officers jumped in the action to effectuate that arrest. Now, I do want to make it very clear that I am not saying that Takaya Young should have been killed because she's shoplifting. Of course not. But I think that she made the tragic mistake of trying to call the police's bluff. And how did she do that? Well, when a police officer stands in front of your car, pulls out a gun and says, get out of the car now, you have a choice. You can hit the gas and see if he's going to pull that trigger, or you could put the car in park and open the door and get out. She chose to hit the gas, and that officer chose to pull the trigger. Now, I think it's an unfortunate situation. I think it's unfortunate for that officer, and I think it's unfortunate for her family. But she made that decision, not to put the car in park, but to put the car in drive and essentially hit the officer, sitting the officer.
Does that or does that not make sense? If that doesn't make common sense, then yeah, you might not like the rest of this video. If that does not make common sense to you, if that does not just register in the brain cells as, okay, he was in front of the car, he had a gun, I have stolen all this liquor. Now, the thing is, and what she was trying to probably play, and what people ain't saying is, and did she actually have the liquor on her, or did her friends drive off with the liquor? Because where did her friends go that came in and got? But I know y'all like, what am I talking about? Man, let's hurry up and get to this video.
If you want to watch that full video, it should pop up somewhere around here. But that is what happened. Those are the undisputed facts. But now there was a question of, was she this innocent angel that people were making her out to be? Or was she involved in criminal activity, and were the officers even justified in stopping her? Now, people were marching in the street. Oh my God, she's an innocent victim. Oh my God, she's a loving mother.
So for starters, they said she stole from the grocery store. There is no evidence of her stealing anything. So this just goes to show that y'all are so quick to believe negative commentary about Black women. You don't. What proof do you have that she stole anything? Was there? I never seen any proof of it. So y'all can't just keep repeating that just because it gives you what you think is a reason to take somebody's life.
That she had. Now, mind you, the Kroger employee said that she had taken
This one, I hate when people show this video, y'all. I hate to keep stopping because I really want to show y'all the actual footage of her in the store. But this video right here, this TikToker, whoever she is, ain't showing nothing but hair and her nose rings and her tattoos. Like, stop playing with me.
multiple liquor bottles and didn't pay for them. Do any of these bags look like liquor bottles to you? These are boxes. These are multiple items. If she just went in there and stole with two other individuals and left with these liquor bottles, what is all of this stuff? And this stuff is bagged as if it was purchased. So I need an explanation as to how, if she was just in there stealing liquor, why did she have all these bags of other types of merchandise that look like they were purchased? Being a Black woman in Columbus, Ohio, especially Westerville, Ohio, not paying question narratives that Columbus media.
Is Takaya Young walking in?
All right, y'all. We up in here chilling. We up in the
As you can see,
up in here we
she
chilling.
has one bag, and she has the
we up in here we
basket
chilling.
that they give you at the store to go through.
We up in here we chilling. What type of alcohol I really want to really drink, and I'm really thinking about getting fucked up with my friends. I'm really trying to get tipsy. Really trying to sit back
Now
there
she's
in this
unaware of the
motherfucker getting
cameras.
tipsy.
I'm assuming she's unaware of the cameras.
How can you be unaware of No. You see cameras. You see cameras. She's looking for the Pacific bottle she trying to take. She is not worried about no cameras. Yeah. She wasn't never ever.
Obviously, she's looking. I think she's probably looking at the person who's sitting at the counter, seeing if that person's looking at her. But now she's gonna make her move.
What?
So now she pulls out another bag. Now, why is she pulling out another bag versus she has her bag? Now, it's interesting because I used to do loss prevention, and they used to put like duct tape in the bags, things to avoid the sensors and stuff. So I don't know why she's pulling out her bag, but now she has this second bag she's pulled out of her purse. Let's see what she does.
Any, meeny, miny, mo. I put that 1 in 1, 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. All right. One weight?
It's about 4 or 5 bottles of alcohol. She's put in that bag. Now she's put it under her purse. And
I like where he stopped, where it looked like she's looking up at the camera like, it's a camera right there. You wasn't worried about the camera until right there. Right there. I know he did that on purpose, because that looks like where she looks up and sees the camera and noticed that it was looking at her.
She's looking directly at the camera.
Yeah. Oh. Why not grab one more? Why not rub the belly? Y'all see that? That's
grab another one, right? What the hell? You've already got 4. Why not go for 5?
Six. That's crazy. Y'all see it. I know people don't love it, like, I can't believe it.
Now, as you can see, there's another 2 women to come in. She has another bag, and she's now stuffing more alcohol into this bag. So we're up to like 7, 8 bottles.
Sheesh.
Now, so this is like her little thing, huh? She's taking bottles off the shelf, either put them directly into the bag, or she'll put them into the basket to make it seem like she's buying something, and then she'll take those ones out of the basket and put it into her purse.
And the crazy part, the friends could be stealing too, right now. But we were so focused on her because of the tragedy that you probably did catch their ass stealing too. I know them friends probably up there doing something too. Yeah, stealing too. Come on, girl. They got enough bottles to clear the whole night.
As you can see, she didn't even put down the basket that she hadn't paid for. She just walks out with that. So even the basket, she's walks out with their basket with alcohol in it. So it's obvious, you can tell she's stealing, right? You don't even have to see her put the other stuff in the bag. She just literally walked out with everything else. Now they're leaving the alcohol section at Kroger and are walking to the front with that same basket. Looks like that's the employee behind them as they're checking. Now, there may be another chance to pay for stuff now, but she's not paying for anything. She's gone. Put the basket down and she's gone. So you see, those are the 2 women who were with her. So that's their larceny team. There they go.
Bing.
So that's it. That's the woman who has all this stuff, all these plans. She's part of a larceny team. And being pregnant actually helps if you think about it, because people have more sympathy for you. Oh, she can't be stealing. And it's some of the last people you would think to be part of a larceny team or stealing something would be someone like Takaya Young. You know, she's 7 months pregnant. Now let's see how the news is covering this.
Young because she was suspected of stealing liquor from Kroger.
She was shot by an officer standing in front of her car as she tried to drive away. Again, we want to be transparent here. We're showing you today's video because it does answer some key questions many people had, including us.
Yeah, NBC4's Jamie Ostroff is here now to break.
You gotta eat a little crow now. We're showing you this because we don't want to say she's a thief. But she's a thief.
Break down the information we are learning from this newly released video.
It's like they gotta pull teeth because they're like, oh, we gotta say we were wrong.
Jamie?
Yeah, Jen and Jared, until this afternoon, the only footage we had from Blendon Township were 2-minute-long clips, one from each of the body-worn cameras from the 2 officers that were involved, showing the moments immediately before and immediately after the shooting. Now, this new footage shows why officers approached Young in the first place and how that response was handled during her final moments. Again, this video is extremely hard to watch, so we're going to show you as little of it as...
Now, it's not extremely hard to watch. The video's not, because we've just seen the whole video. What's extremely hard to watch about that video? She's a thief. It's obvious she's a thief.
Anybody got a problem with that video like you just said? Anybody? Okay. All right. I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Because y'all went out there and people probably watching this video, we probably all had sympathies for her. But y'all just watched her sit up in her and went up into a store and stole over 10 bottles of alcohol. Come on, man.
She's part of a team who's doing this stuff. And officers were right to stop her. And she, knowing that she had all that contraband in her car, drove at the officer and was killed. But you see,
she didn't want to go to jail for alcohol. She didn't have... I'm not gonna... And see, the thing is, what you gonna say, she probably had money to pay for it, then why did she steal it? If she had money to pay for it, why did she steal over 10 bottles of alcohol? Huh? Because only other reason you're going to do some stuff like that, 10 bottles of alcohol, 7 months pregnant. Somebody going to, I don't know how you're going to look at the situation. I don't know. I'm not a female. But y'all sing that she took her time and stole all those bottles.
It's extremely hard to watch. Extremely hard to watch.
Possible to tell the most complete, fair, and accurate story.
You know what she's saying? We have to show you the facts, because if we don't show you the facts, you may not believe the lies next time we tell them to you. So here are the facts.
From the beginning. Surveillance footage from inside Kroger's liquor store shows Takaya Young taking bottles from the shelves and placing them in her purse. 2 other women walk in separately. About a minute and a half later, they approach Young while she waits in line with more liquor in a shopping basket. You see the 3 women leave the store together without paying. Surveillance video from outside the store shows Young walking to her car, the black sedan shown here, alone. As she gets in, a man who police describe as a Kroger manager flags down 2 nearby officers, helping a woman get into her locked car. One officer approaches Young from the driver's side. Seconds later, the other moves in front of the car.
What more do we need to see? This is so disturbing. This is so crazy. The truth. You know what's disturbing? It's the truth. They got to show you the truth. That's what they're so upset about. That's the crazy part about this. They got to show you the truth. And the truth shall set you free, or shall expose the propaganda that you've been pushing for weeks. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Let's hear this outro.
On camera for minutes at a time. So Blendon Township police say they are still looking for the 2 other women who walked out of the liquor store with Young. They are asking anyone who might know them to call Crime Stoppers. In the past hour, I spoke with attorney Sean Walton, who is representing Young's family. He told me he asked Blendon Township for the video you just saw, but he didn't get it until I sent it to him. Here's what he had to say about it.
It shows us nothing but more evidence of murder. And I fully believe that this just further solidifies our position that a murder occurred here, and that officer Connor Grubb should be terminated and indicted.
Doesn't tell you any why, right? Doesn't tell you anything, any why. It's just more evidence, more evidence, more. What evidence does it show you that the officer's wrong? He's standing in front of the car. She's got contraband in the car. She doesn't want to go to jail. So what does she do? She hits the gas. Now, don't get me wrong. I think for officer safety, I don't know why the officer got in front of the car. Bad choice. But he is in front of the car. He's got a gun out. Any reasonable, rational person who sees an officer standing in front of your car with a gun out saying, "Get out the car, get out the car."
All right. I ain't trying to bother y'all too much on that one. How you doing? Now, he does another video that's important. I do believe y'all need to see something that they're not showing you in the mainstream media.
Now, this is a story.
I thought this was interesting. That's why I'm showing this. When I see something interesting, something like I'm going to let him explain this one. I hope I don't get in trouble, but I'm going to really let him explain this one right here. This was something that you need to hear.
Story that you're not going to hear anywhere else except for here, because the media doesn't want to tell you the truth about the good guy with the gun. But I'm here to tell you, over 60% of active shooters are stopped by good guys with guns.
Basically what you see up here in the title, and that's a good thing. I'm pro guns, just gonna put that out there, right? I'm smoking with everybody, and understand that people with guns does stop gun violence. And here's the statistics and some numbers to break some things down for you. For real.
All right, so this story has been breaking for the past couple of days, but the problem is that the left-wing media is not reporting this story at all. So I'm going to report it because I think it's interesting that when the story doesn't fit the narrative, then all of a sudden they don't promote the story. But what we've all been told is that good guys with guns don't stop active shooters. It's very rare. And that is what has been promoted by the FBI and a lot of the media, right? Because essentially what they want to do is essentially take away the Second Amendment and say no one should have a gun. But now what we've been finding is that the FBI data on active shooters is extremely misleading. And instead of the 4% or 5% they say of active shooters that are stopped by good guys with guns, the true number is about 60%. Here's the article. A large percentage of active shooter incidents are thwarted by armed citizens who sometimes don't even fire their weapon. But those cases are no longer counted under President Joe Biden's pro-gun control policies. You know what I call this? I call this just hiding facts to push a narrative. Because remember, they don't want anybody to have a gun. According to just released data from the Crime Prevention Research Center, 41% of active shooting incidents were stopped by armed civilians. Now, outside of the so-called gun-free zones, which bar the legal carrying of firearms, over 63%, so it rose from 41% to 63% of active shooting cases were ended by an armed civilian, according to the center. New data from John R. Lott, the former Justice Department Senior Advisor for Research and Statistics, are his latest to challenge undercounting and bias in government reports on shootings and back up efforts by Second Amendment and police groups to encourage people to carry firearms. So if more people knew that more than half of active shooter incidents, 63% outside of gun-free zones were stopped by people, good guys with guns, more people would carry guns because they'd be like, okay, well, this is probably going to be the answer, right? I have to be my own officer. If someone comes in with an AR-15 and starts shooting and takes the officers 5 minutes to get there, you know how much damage they can do in 5 minutes? But if someone goes into a place and has a gun and they know, and everybody else in there has guns, then that changes the dynamics a lot. I think it changes a lot. Lott continually updates his data to include all cases. So this is somebody who is aggregating data along with the FBI, including those the government overlooks or misclassifies, to counter media reports that it is rare for civilians to put down active shooters. His information is especially critical since the Biden administration stopped counting defensive actions by civilians. So Biden administration just straight up said, we're not going to count them anymore. We're not going to count them. So this research facility is saying, okay,
a whole administration is not going to take the time out to try to show that civilians with guns keep other civilians without guns safe. When you walk into a grocery store, when you walk into a mall, you walk into a bus stop, and people have guns, you feel threatened. You shouldn't feel threatened when you see a person have a gun and actually showing you that they have a gun in the holster where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's an amendment. They're here to protect. Now, people that hide guns don't want you to see that they got the gun, trying to run up on you when they have a gun. Yeah, they're the ones you gotta look out for. Everybody with a gun is not the boogeyman.
okay, we're going to count them all. Following the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012, Wayne Pierre, executive director for the National Rifle Association, NRA, famously held a press conference to decry the shooting and offer a solution. He said, the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun, which is true. That's why police are the good guy with the gun, but sometimes it just takes them too long to get there. Liberal anti-gun groups and media allies mocked his comments, but they have been unable to come up with a winning solution to stopping often deranged shooters. Lott's data showed that LaPierre was likely correct. So, of the 440 cases that he cited from 2014 to 2022, 157 active shootings were stopped by armed civilians. By comparison, the FBI cited only 302 cases, so they cited about 140 less, 138 less, and even fewer thwarted by civilians, 14. So this guy found that 157 were stopped by civilians, and the FBI is only reporting 14. That's crazy. The FBI data from 2014 to 2020 have led the media to call the interventions rare. Lott said the FBI data often misclassifies cases, does not dig deeper than simply skim police reports, or wrongly identify civilian with the gun as a security guard. So civilian who has a gun, they'll say it's a security guard, and then they will say that's not a good guy with a gun, that's just a security guard. Here's an example. Turning Point USA. A monster entered a Texas church to commit mass shooting. It took Jack Wilson 6 seconds to kill him. The average police response was 9 minutes. That's true. 9 minutes. Just imagine that's what's happened. Jack was armed and saved lives of his friends and family from absolute evil. This is Jack's story. So this is the guy, a good guy with a gun. But again, the FBI has not been reporting on this. Evidence compiled by the Crime Prevention Research Center shows that the sources of media relied on undercounted the number of instances in which armed citizens have thwarted such attacks by an order of more than 10. So wow. Yeah, that's true. If you got 150 versus 14, that's 10. That's 10x. That's 10 times, saving untold numbers of lives. Of course, law-abiding citizens stopping these attacks are not rare. What is rare is the national news coverage of those incidents. Lott's new report shared with Secrets on Friday said the FBI reports that armed citizens only stopped 14 of 302 active shooter incidents it identified for the period of 2014 through 2022. The FBI defines active shooters incidents as those in which an individual actively kills or attempts to kill people in a populated public area. But it does not include those it deems related to other criminal activity, such as robbery or fighting over drug turf, he added. Those types of shootings, however, have recently been included in cases of mass shootings by several media outlets. So, in other words, the media will classify them as active shooters or mass shootings, but the FBI wasn't. In his updated report, he also made the argument, our analysis by the CPRC identified a total of 440 active shooter incidents during that time period and found that an armed civilian stopped 157. Wow. The previous report looked at only instances when armed civilians stopped what likely would have been a mass shooting. There were another 27 that we didn't include where the armed civilians stopped armed attackers, but the suspects did not fire his gun. Those cases are excluded from our calculations, though it could be argued that a civilian who stopped what likely could have been an active shooting event. The FBI reported that armed civilians thwarted 4.6 active shooter incidents, while the CPRC found 35.7. Wow. Two factors explain the discrepancy: one, misclassified shootings, and two, overlooked incidents.
These big gaps of numbers, which I guess I should be stopping and breaking them down for us and my audience to see, is the FBI is really taking a good 10 times as many acts of shootings and not reporting them and using them and saying that there are security guards. Not only is saying that there are security guards, just finding all which ways to not count them as active police, you know what I'm saying, active shooting with somebody's a gun, where you could have been to a place where somebody was going to shoot, but he's seeing somebody with a gun on their waist, just they're chilling. And basically, I hate to say country, that's why you don't really see too many shootings at country stuff. You know, dude had to be so far away, because normally Westerns and country people have guns. Interesting.
Incidents. Regarding the former, the CPRC determined that the FBI reports had misclassified 5 shootings. In 2 incidents, the Bureau notes in its detailed write-ups that civilians possess valid firearm permits, confronted the shooters, and caused them to flee the scene. So that should be counted. However, the FBI did not list these cases as being stopped by armed civilians because police later apprehended the attacker. That doesn't make any sense. If the armed civilian stops and the guy flees, that's the armed civilian that stopped. So, but it shows you how they're massaging the numbers to try to make it seem like it's not the good guy with the gun, it's something else. It's the police. Call the police, right? In 2 other incidents, the FBI misidentified armed civilians as armed security personnel. Finally, the FBI failed to mention citizen engagement in 1 incident. So they're just misclassifying them all the way. He added, for the second factor, overlooked cases, the FBI more significantly missed 35 incidents identified by the CPRC where what would likely have been a mass public shooting was thwarted by an armed civilian. There were another 103 active shooter incidents that they missed. Finally, he broke out shootings that occurred outside of gun-free zones, presumably those with concealed carry permits, enter without their weapon as required by law. Between 2014 and 2022, citizens stopped 104 out of 204 potential mass shootings where we could identify the guns were allowed in the area. So if they allow the guns in the area, it seems like you're stopping more than about half or more than half. So 51% of attacks were stopped by people legally carrying concealed handguns. Wow, that's a game changer. That's a game changer. Again, the most recent data is most accurate. For 2022, 63.5% of attackers were stopped in areas where people were clearly allowed to carry. And that's it, right? Just imagine how much higher that would be if, places like New York and all these other places allowed you to carry guns. 63%. That's crazy. So if you're allowed to carry a gun, 63% of the time, if somebody comes with a mass shooting, they're stopped by that person with the gun. That's crazy. The numbers indicate if we didn't have gun-free zones, we would have more people stopping these attacks, he said.
That's beautiful. Like I said, y'all, I wanted him to explain this because it's his story. You're not going to see this in social media for real. I couldn't wait to come on here and discuss it with you. I know a lot of people, they don't like guns and they don't want guns around. And I understand for as criminals and what they bring to the table. But nothing but destruction and heartbreaking, and you're losing somebody that's close to you, or it reminds you of a friend in a war that you're going through. And I totally understand and I get it. But when you have actual people saving other people's lives just by being around having a gun, and the FBI is not showing you, not even putting it up there. And there are people, there are way more than just us and him, trying to show these videos and let you know, like, hey, statistics letting you know that people with guns, you know, they're kind of saving lives out here. You know, they're being that police officer that you was looking for, that, like you said, in an 8-minute span that it takes a police officer to pull up on you, a person there with a gun can take it out in 2 to 3 minutes. That's a big difference of time. And we just talking about just being safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about nothing extreme. You know, a little bitty robbery and somebody's trying to run off with a purse, or somebody stole a hat from a store. Like, hey, you see this gun, man, go put that back. Go put that back. Stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta understand, the more people steal from stores, the way they've been stealing from stores, the price is just gonna go up. I know we're already dealing with inflation, so people are stealing because they like, I can't afford. Well, understandable, but don't steal because you're making it 10 times worse, because the people that can afford it, I mean, really, really can afford it, they just gonna up the price. I'm like, I don't care. I already bought them out. I'm just saying, we need to look at things like this a lot more careful and closer and break it down, because I'm here to just let you know, like, yo. Guns are a little, just a little bit more safer than people without guns. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's crazy. So let me know what you think about this story, because this story is not being covered by left-wing media. It's not being, the fact that the FBI numbers, their data, the FBI's data is misleading and wrong. It's shocking because most people take the FBI data for what it is, and it's just horribly wrong. It's funny because it reminded me of this shooting in a mall where essentially an untrained guy with a gun stopped the shooting. Check this out.
Short of heroic.
Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen praising a 22-year-old now being hailed a hero. Elisha Dicken was legally carrying a handgun Sunday when a 20-year-old shot 5 people at Greenwood Park Mall.
This young man, Greenwood's good Samaritan, acted within seconds, stopping the shooter and saving countless lives.
Investigators said today Dicken had no police training or military background.
I was very proficient in that, very tactically sound, and as he moved to close in on the suspect, he was also motioning for people to exit behind him.
And think about this. That happens 63% of the time if you're not in a gun-free zone. If you're in a gun-free zone, it happens 40% of it, 41 or 45% of the time. And think about this. That happens 63% of the time if you're not in a gun-free zone. If you're in a gun-free zone, it happens.
If you're in it, 63% of the time that can happen, save your life. 63%. That's over half. I just really want people to understand the difference of why certain states, cities, I'm not moving to. And I'll be like, this is the reason why. It's just a little bit safer to know that all I need is a permit to have a gun on my hip, practice, you know what I'm saying, a little bit training, and I know 63% for right now. That's safety, that's love, that's a lot more people going home to see their kids and babies and stuff like that. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be harsh, not trying to be cruel. Just trying to drop some good things for people to understand that there are hope out there. I heard people talking now a little bit more about things that matter and, you know, gun violence and stuff like that. Now, I'm still hearing a lot of nonchalant. Don't get it twisted. But that right there is definitely something I know we needed to hear. I know it. Now, oh yeah. Oh yeah, y'all. It's about that time for me to get into stuff that I like to get into. And if y'all don't know what that is, y'all about to find out in a second. What's going on, y'all? Burn Live, y'all.
I
Hey,
think the
y'all should be-
impeachment inquiry is absurd.
Impeachment for Joe Biden and the crime family? Is it really finna go down? Yeah, this is about to be music to my ears.
The American people want us to do something that will make their lives better, not go off on these chases and witch hunts. The bottom line is, as we have said, you can only accomplish keeping the government open in a bipartisan way.
House Democrats will defend President Biden today. We will defend President Biden tomorrow. We will defend President Biden next week. We will defend President Biden next month. We will defend President Biden next year. We will defend President Biden until the very end.
All right, guys. So in a continuation of the bombshell announcement from the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, that Biden will undergo an impeachment inquiry, that the GOP is going to launch a formal investigation into the Biden crime family to uncover the bombshell evidence that Joe Biden was taking bribes and selling out the American people overseas in exchange for political favors that the mainstream liberal media claims does not exist.
People, y'all know I don't get paid for doing this. I just love doing this. But that's treasoning. Okay? That's everything that people wanted Trump to do so damn bad. That was that war. I almost got too excited. I had to calm down, y'all, because I was like, this is everything, every negative thing that people wanted Trump to do, and Trump is doing it, and Trump is doing it, and he did this, he did that. It seemed like Joe Biden is doing it. Joe Biden been doing it for years and years. And now that y'all know that he's finna get caught up, y'all done gave him another flu shot or COVID shot, and now Joe Biden don't look like Joe Biden, like he can't remember nothing. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, dog. Y'all done did this, man. Y'all finna get him. We finna get him. And what's crazy is, after this, they gonna make a blockbuster movie about it. And I keep saying it over and over and over. Other people done said, but I feel like I guaranteed I said it first, because I was saying it a long time ago, they finna make a movie off of this. It's finna be the best movie of all time. I guarantee you that. And when you go to that movie and you're like, man, this remind me of yes. I want to be that guy. Like, yes, I told you multiple times that they're finna make a movie out this Joe Biden Trump shit. I'm just saying, why would you pass up the opportunity to direct a movie that you know there's gonna be, man, you're probably gonna win an Oscar, because you're gonna get it's like, I'm not even finna get y'all hype like Capiz talk that shit, but I'm just saying, all of this that's going down, right or wrong, good or bad, whatever side you fighting for, whatever your beliefs are, whatever you stand for, please stand up on it, right? But my thing is, when you sit down at that doggone movie theater with that popcorn, nachos, soda, your lady, your girl, your kids, whoever, whatever, However, I told you here that they was going to make a movie off of this, and it was going to be bomb delicious when you sit up there and you get to see this movie. Oh, yeah. I know it.
Does not exist. Okay, Democrats are screaming that there's no evidence, right? And they're going to be screaming that there's no evidence for the next 6 or 7 months, probably.
And so this is the constant and persistent dysfunction, chaos, and just complete disorganization on the part of the Republicans who cannot run the government. And instead, what they are doing is focusing on doing the bidding of Donald Trump, distracting from Donald Trump, and trying to launch a completely baseless, meritless impeachment investigation. It is one thing to actually go forward with any misconduct, but we're not talking about impeaching Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is being dealt with by the Department of Justice. There is no evidence, none whatsoever, and I don't care how much they say otherwise. I looked at it. There is no direct evidence that President Biden was involved in any way, shape, or form in Hunter Biden's business dealings, and they would be going forward with an impeachment inquiry based on lies.
Meanwhile, it's going to be funny to listen to Democrats say there's no evidence for the next 6 months, because here's just 3 pieces of evidence right here. That's off the top of my head. Okay, so Putin's billionaire buddy wires the Biden family $3.5 billion. And then they sit down for dinner with Joe Biden, and then Biden leaves her off the sanctions list twice. Right there, you could open an impeachment inquiry. Or how about when Joe Biden flies his son to China, he comes back with a bucket of cash, and then gets on the, hey, guys, you better pay up the rest or my dad's going to get revenge on you. And what do you know? Joe Biden starts writing the communist Chinese guy's daughter's recommendations to get into Brown. And then they grease the regulatory process so the Chinese can buy an American car company. Oh, yeah, and then Hunter gets that diamond for about $75,000 that he lost. Because if Malia Obama got a diamond and then President Obama went soft on the country that gave it to him, I'm sure that would not be a big deal at all. And then who else do we have? We have Biden flies his son down to Mexico City. Hunter meets with the president of Mexico and Carlos Slim, comes back with money, and then complains, guys, I've gotten all of your clients into the White House to meet with my dad, and you haven't paid me a dime. Where's the cash? They can't answer those 3 situations. So I can't wait till they have to answer about the burner phones, the 20 shell companies, or Joe Biden on a voicemail saying, son, I read the Times piece about your shady deals in China. You're in the clear. Now, how would he even know if he was in the clear if he didn't know what his son did? And how do you not know what your son did if you call your son every day for the last 20 years? Hey, son, how'd you get the Porsche Panorama? Hey, son, where did you get all the money to take me to St. Croix 8 times in a row?
No evidence, they say. Right? No evidence, they say. We will see. I personally think that there's a bombshell at the end of this. I think they do have the evidence. I don't think that Republicans would be opening up an impeachment inquiry if they did not think they could get the bombshell evidence needed to prove that Joe Biden did, in fact, take bribes. Okay, he was getting paid in exchange for making foreign policy decisions that mainly protected his son Hunter, who was not selling a product at all except influence, which is clearly obvious. That's what they were doing. Okay, but according to mainstream liberal media, you're not supposed to ask any questions about how in the hell did the Biden crime family accumulate millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars selling money. Nothing, right? You're not supposed to ask questions about it, okay? In fact, it's not just the Democrats claiming that there's no evidence. You also have the mainstream liberal media reporters also claiming there's no evidence. And one of these unlucky reporters decided to ask some GOP congressmen about how there's no evidence. And let's just say that these GOP congressmen weren't having it. Take a look.
Yes, ma'am. Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you?
Oh, I don't know.
Bullied Speaker McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the president, or the vice president at the time, on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blind, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
You're not, We're here reporting on it today.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder. Actually, if you're a federal prosecutor, you would be asking yourself, how can there not have been an indictment for a FARA violation against Hunter Biden? How can there possibly, my understanding and discussions with staff have confirmed my impulse that this would be very much the basis of a Foreign Corrupt Practices Act investigation, given the circumstances that we know. The question is, it's funny, after we come out of the events that John Durham, for example, testified to our committees about how investigations proceeded through our investigative agencies without proper predication. It's not that you have to prove the case. It's not that, you understand, to this point, there's not been a single subpoena to a Hunter Biden bank account or a Joe Biden bank account or any other Biden family member's bank account, because until an impeachment inquiry commences, that's not a jurisdictional possibility. Well, it would be stretching jurisdiction to do that. But there's ample predication at this point in time based on that very unusual set of circumstances, which is for no apparent payment for expertise or services rendered. Biden family members writ large received over $20 million.
That we know of.
It is very simple for someone just to insist there's an absence of evidence. But if you can look in the face of that and contend that's, anyone has a right to their opinion. What they can't do is change the facts.
And I invite you to go to the website clyde.house.gov/Biden crime family, and you will see all the evidence from the Oversight Committee. You will see all the evidence. And if you're willing to read it, I think you'll be convinced.
Thank you all.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay?
Y'all can't tell me this ain't gonna be the best movie when they come out with all these doggone scripts. You can just take scripts from each other week, months, years, from what, last 8 years. Just do 8 years. Man, you ain't even gotta write the script. You just take it out piece by piece, put it together.
Have GOP senators basically going off.
Best movie ever.
Off on this reporter who is willfully ignorant, in my opinion, right, in regards to the evidence, okay? And it's almost like these people don't seem to understand the concept that the impeachment inquiry allows the GOP to gather more evidence. It gives them more power to get the evidence that I'm sure they know is there. This is why they're doing it, right? This is why they're doing it. But again, that doesn't stop mainstream liberal media outlets like CNN, for example, from coping with the fact that the GOP has launched an impeachment inquiry into their Lord and Savior, Joe Biden. But again, apparently under Trump, it was totally fine. And now there's concern that impeachment may be being abused, right? Now that it's being used against Democrat.
But then there's going to be the politics of how do you move through this in a way that doesn't necessarily blow up in your face, given, as you all have said, we have not seen any evidence, hard evidence, directly connecting wrongdoing on the part of then Vice President Biden, now President Biden, and Hunter Biden's business dealings or the ongoing Hunter Biden investigation. Now, I want to add one thing, though. What Kevin McCarthy does have in this moment on his side is public opinion. I mean, we just released a poll last week, and we saw that despite that lack of evidence having been presented, a majority of Americans believe something afoot here. I mean, 55% in our poll said they think President Biden has acted inappropriately during the course of this investigation while he's been president. North of 6 in 10 Americans think that either Biden did something illegally or acted immorally or in bad faith in some way, did something wrong here when it comes to the business dealings of Hunter Biden when Joe Biden was vice president. So there is a perception issue that the White House is going to have to battle, and that is the perception issue that the House Republicans and Kevin McCarthy right now are leaning into. Both sides are going to need the evidence or lack thereof to make their final case to the American people as this goes forward. I would just note one thing. Manu made a very smart comparison looking back to 2019 when Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats launched that initial Trump impeachment inquiry. One thing that is so fascinating to me about the difference in the politics internally in the House at the moment, Nancy Pelosi did that when some of her moderate frontline members sort of flipped and decided they had been so reluctant about moving ahead with the impeachment, especially those with like national security credentials. A lot of those freshman members, they got on board with that. And that's when Nancy Pelosi went forward. Here, it is the reliable, solid, hardcore conservatives pushing McCarthy here, and those frontline members who determine Kevin McCarthy's majority have clearly not yet been fully on board with this. And so it's a difference in the internal politics in the way each of these speakers handled it. And then I just think, guys, we have to step back and look. You know, did our founders envision impeachment, high crimes and misdemeanor, as now a sort of quadrennial political tool for no matter which party is in power in the White House or in the House, that this is just becoming a way of life? I've been covering American politics for north of 20 years now. This will now be the fourth presidential impeachment process, at least, getting kicked off in that time. And it had been a long time prior to that. Nixon obviously didn't move forward to a formal impeachment charge, but this is now the way of American political life. And I am not sure that that is a healthy thing for our system.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. This CNN lackey is now concerned, right? He's now concerned that impeachment is being weaponized too much, okay? This is not what the founders envisioned. They didn't envision a country where political parties would use impeachment as a political tool for trying to remove the current party in power. Again, where was all this concern back when Democrats were weaponizing impeachment against Trump for silly reasons? There was no concern. These same people were cheering it on. It was totally legit. I mean, if you listen to the guy talk, right? Nancy Pelosi, when she was launching her impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump, it was, she had got all the moderate members of her party on board. Kevin McCarthy doesn't even have the moderate members of his party on board. Well, Kevin McCarthy has some moderates. He has a lot of moderates. There are some that are objecting. But again, this is not actual impeachment. It's an inquiry. Again, see how afraid these people are. These people, right? They say there's no evidence, right? There's no evidence. But they're afraid of the impeachment inquiry process, which is simply
best movie ever. Best movie ever. Let me see if they got any other angles. Man, they're gonna be talking about this for a while, y'all. For a long time. I ain't heard nothing about the okay. Yeah. Y'all gotta hear this.
Hillary Clinton was accused by Juanita Broaddrick of
having that team around,
of threatening her.
Yep.
After Juanita Broaddrick said she'd been raped by Bill Clinton.
Yes.
I've not heard anybody ask Hillary whether or not it's true or false.
Yep.
People think that Hillary Clinton has committed murder multiple times. I've heard that.
My point is that there are a lot of no-fly zones the media has when it comes to protecting people on the left, and this is not uncommon. I couldn't care less whether Obama is gay. I couldn't care less whether or not Michelle is Big Mike. I think Obamacare is an abomination. I think what he did on race relations set this country back. That's what I care about.
Yeah, you're a policy guy. But that's the exact. If I asked Trump that, he'd be like, "Yeah, he's probably gay. Yeah, Michelle's probably a man, and that's why he gets eyeballs."
I don't think Trump would say that. Trump even conceded.
Trump has said way worse things about
Trump
way
even,
less
even
people.
conceded that Obama was born here after spending money to investigate all of it.
He started the whole birther claim.
Well,
he was trying to win. How nice of him
he
to
did not.
concede
No,
that.
he did not start that. Hillary started that. 2008.
That's correct.
Well,
bingo.
He promoted the hell out of it.
Game change. She started it. Sidney Blumenthal was her top aide. He goes to the McClatchy newspapers and says, Obama is not from here. He was born in Africa. And a guy named
boy
James
be
Asher,
spitting
you can
that
look it
fire.
up, took the advice seriously, put somebody on it, and they track it down. They found nothing to it. It was Hillary campaign that started it. And everybody assumes Trump started it, but he did not. Hillary did it.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. Meaning, like, I think you're probably right.
Now they do. Millions of people now do.
That's true, but everyone thinks.
So I've done a service. If nothing else, I've done a
If you
service.
did a poll right now of who started the birther claims, I would say 90% of people would say
so
Trump.
many things about Donald Trump are just not true. For example, in November 2016, I think it was around November, before the election anyway, Bloomberg poll, the number one reason that likely voters gave for not liking Donald Trump is that they felt he had demeaned a disabled reporter, mocked a disabled reporter. He did not. We're talking about a guy named Serge Kovaleski, who wrote for one of the big newspapers. And Donald Trump publicly said that people cheered the fall of the Twin Towers. And nobody could find a story. And then he found a story. And they went up to Serge Kovaleski, who wrote the story, and said, did you see this? He goes, well, I sort of did. Well, I wasn't sure there were that many. And so Donald Trump mocked him in a town hall. He wasn't mocking his disability. And by the way, the guy doesn't go like this, which is what Donald Trump did. The guy has an atrophied arm, but he doesn't go like this. And Donald Trump did not mock him, but that's what people believe. There's a website called Catholics for Trump, where Donald Trump has used this gesture to mock himself, to mock an able-bodied general. It's what Donald Trump does because he's a stand-up comic. It's not true. Just as it's not true that Donald Trump said there were good Nazis and bad Nazis on both sides regarding Charlottesville. Even Jake Tapper, 2 years later, said, went back and looked at it. He wasn't saying that. He was saying there are good people and bad people on both sides of the debate on whether or not there should be a Confederate monument in the public square. But that's what a lot of people feel.
Well,
and the other big thing that people think about Donald Trump is that he was leading an insurrection on January 6th when, as you pointed out, what part of I want you to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard don't you understand? So many of the things that people hate Donald Trump's guts for are simply flat out false, including that he started the birther movement. He did not.
Well, this goes to the bigger question about the media. I actually agree with you.
Can you actually verify the Hillary Clinton birther versus
Absolutely.
Trump? Because there's a lot of people that believe Trump started it. Can you pull this
there's
up?
video of Morning Scarborough, Morning Joe show, where a guy named John Heilemann co-authored the book called Game Change is on.
Yeah, John Hyman. Yeah.
John Heilemann.
Can you find that?
And Harold Ford is on the panel. And somebody mentions that Hillary started. He goes, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And Joe Scarborough turns to John Hyman and said, well, John, you wrote the book, Game Change. What's the truth? He said, I'm confirming the notion that it was Hillary Clinton that started it. John Hyman said that.
Well, it's only 10 years too late.
Can you
so
find that
respect.
clip if you could, Rob? If you can somehow.
Yeah, that's it. Joe, right there. Joe, Obama Muslim talk started with Hillary.
2015.
Right there.
And then this talks about the birther as well with Hillary.
Can we play this?
Well, the whole birther thing is Obama's from Africa.
Yeah. Can you get audio or no, Rob?
I mean, God, you see that interview? I mean, the Clinton team
I do a
wrote the
great job,
questions.
too.
I mean,
Someone
for
gave
obviously,
themselves a platter.
that was stunning. It was stunning. She is asked on Face the Nation about who at the State. She said the State Department authorized it. No, there was Dickerson didn't follow up with a question. Who at the State
Well,
Department?
that's because the campaign did not allow that. You know
Because
that this
they-
interview was set up so that certain questions on policy were required for a certain amount of time,
this the
and
one,
then
Larry?
they could go
I'm
into
not
emails
sure.
for a certain
If
amount of
there's no
time, and then they.
Can you
believe
fast
me,
forward a little bit to see if this is the one, Rob? Just kind of fast
It
forward
was
to see.
textbook planned out. I can see.
Very rich. Now listen.
He says he is.
By the Clinton.
This is it.
I don't
Look,
even know.
that is the truth.
Harold.
Go back a little bit. Go back 20 seconds.
That's it.
This started with Hillary Clinton, and it
Go
was
back 20
spread by
seconds, Rob. You
her
go back 20
and her
seconds.
King
Right there. That's good.
for spreading the rumors.
Okay, go back
about
10 more
Barack
seconds. This was
Obama.
the one. Yeah,
I
right
gotta say
there.
one other thing too.
Here we go.
It was rich this weekend. I guess we have to get our digs in on Hillary Clinton here because I thought we were going to get through a segment without talking about her.
Oh, well, she's
but for Hillary Clinton to come out and criticize anybody for spreading the rumors about Barack Obama, when it all started
On 60 Minutes.
when it all started with her and her
She's a
campaign
pro.
passing things around in the
Wow.
Democratic primary? Rich. Now listen.
He says he is.
The Republicans are wrong for doing what they're doing. This started with Hillary Clinton. And it was spread
Good for
by
Morning
the
Joe for
Clinton
saying
team.
this.
We're
I'm
just
shocked.
telling the
Back in
truth.
2008.
Sorry.
What
I don't even know.
That is the truth.
Harold,
I don't
please.
believe.
I don't.
Don't.
But Mika, you can't tell me to stop when the two of you are making comments. It'd be different if you have if there's a basis, an actual evidentiary basis for what you're saying, then I would agree with it.
That they're the ones that spread it in 2008?
That spread what in 2008?
That Barack Obama may not be a Christian.
Well, we should ask Heilman this
Watch
question.
this. That's John
He's the
Heilman on the
official
radio.
Heilman historian of the 2008 campaign.
I don't recall that, but if you're telling me that was the case, I just don't recall.
John Heilman?
It was the case. It was
Thank
within
you.
It was the case. Thank you, John Heilman.
Didn't she go on 60 Minutes and not
Wow.
actually
It was
say
the
no?
case.
No, he says he is.
I'm offering my.
What was that? Harold?
I'm affirming the Scarborough Brzezinski.
Okay, do you know about this
Yell ahead on morning
CBS
show.
interview? Was that rigged?
I don't know anything about. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened.
I
don't know what happened. I don't know what happened
between the campaign and John Dickerson.
I don't know
what
happened on that interview either. But you do recall that a week earlier she went on Andrea Mitchell, and it was all emails all the time for the first 20 minutes of that interview.
Wow.
That's
So she has that.
You can stop it right there.
So you were right.
No.
Of course I'm.
So
but more importantly, a guy named James Asher, ASHER, who worked for McClatchy,
Pull that up.
said that Sidney Blumenthal approached him and said Obama is not from here. And he tracked it down and found nothing to it.
Got it.
And Sidney Blumenthal is Hillary's hatchet man.
You know what's interesting about that is that was in what year, Rob?
15.
That was 2015. This was the year I literally used to watch Morning Joe and Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, John Heilman, and everyone that's on there literally every morning for 2 straight years. Okay, and this was when Joe Scarborough was actually a friend of Donald Trump. So was Mika Brzezinski. They were he was at their wedding.
Joe Scarborough used to be a Republican.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
and used to demean Al Sharpton, signed a resolution, introduced a resolution calling Al Sharpton a race hustling demagogue. Right. And now they kiss each other's butts.
Well, he's on his show
it's
every
amazing.
morning.
It's
He's on his
amazing.
show.
Yeah.
But this is my point.
The Reverend.
Reverend. Thank you. This is my point. In a few short years, from 2016 to the Trump election to basically where we are today, the media has completely gone to different sides.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Completely gone to different sides. So here's my question. The media has already done this. If there's one thing I've learned since Trump has been elected office, that the deep state is real.
Absolutely.
And they do not want Donald Trump to be president. They didn't want him in 2016.
Right.
They didn't want him in 2020. They did everything in their power to get him out of office.
Right.
And they're going to do everything in their power to do it again in 2024. So if he is elected, which is 50-50 at this point, they're going to do everything in their power to belittle his candidacy or his presidency. He's a racist, he's white percent, Russia, this, that, the other. They're going to play clips of January 6th. It's just going to happen over and over and over again. How does someone like Trump combat the media, big tech, Hollywood? How does he even go against that at this point?
The good news is, I said I was a cautious pessimistic, but the good news is Donald Trump, Republicans now have almost half the Hispanic vote. Donald Trump got elected with 8% of the black vote in 2016. When he ran in 2020, he got 12%. That's a 50% increase. He got 20% of the black male vote. People are waking up. They're seeing the nonsense. And they're seeing their pocketbook. They go to the gas station, they go to the store, they're paying a lot more for the same stuff. And you can call Donald Trump all sorts of names if you want. All I know is I'm paying a lot more for gas. I'm paying a lot more for chicken, for bacon, for milk, for egg, for cheese than I did before.
Yeah, but that's grassroots. How do you handle the top? Okay, so there's bottom up and then top down. So the top down, the media, Hollywood, big tech,
FBI.
everything, even clearly the deep state. How does he combat that? Because the fear is it's just going to be this antagonistic, vindictive relationship.
The good news, the trust in the media has never been lower, and that's because Donald Trump has popularized the expression fake news and disinformation. You combat it by telling the truth and by standing your ground, which is why people love Donald Trump so much. He's a fighter.
So it sounds like even though you're running for president, he has your vote.
If he becomes a nominee, he has my vote. I would rather be the nominee, and I'll ask him to be my running mate.
By the way, even though
Trump will be your running mate.
Even though we just verified by Democrats that the birther was started by Hillary, can you show the poll how it's doing, Rob? I'm just curious to know because some people want to believe this. They have to believe this.
Of course, because they can't admit that they're wrong.
Handle the truth from the movie.
You can't handle the truth.
Okay, go
What
to the
poll?
poll if you can, Rob, just to tell us if you can show us how the poll is doing percentage-wise.
Even Hillary once attacked Donald Trump for starting the racist rumor that Donald
Zoom
Trump
in a
was
little
not
bit so we can see it. Zoom in a little bit. 24%
Yes.
still believe it's Trump.
25%. Even though you just showed, like 8 minutes ago. So that means
Well, that's our poll, right?
that's our poll.
Okay, 76% believe
Yeah,
that
for
Hillary
sure.
started.
But think about it, 25%
But
are
what
like,
he's trying to say is imagine the poll of people that are not
Oh,
watching the
yeah,
show.
God,
Can you find a poll of people asking who started the birther thing?
There's a regular poll.
I assure you, the majority of Americans, especially Democrats, believe that Donald Trump started it.
And while he's looking for that, Larry, I think something that you said that
And there's no question Donald Trump promoted it.
of course.
But starting it, he did not start it.
Well, sometimes they say you don't want to be first; you need to be second. So, like, look at MySpace, defunct. Look at Facebook; they're $1 trillion company.
And Larry,
Trump was second. He
By
was
way-
the man.
By the way, you have to give Hillary credit because she's the first one that said it's the election was a fraud. First one that said birther. First one.
Yeah.
Russia.
The way this woman is
email, like she's untouchable,
master
Larry.
of deception.
30,000 emails, poof, gone.
Holy moly.
How is she?
Pays for the dossier, nothing.
But Obama
Nothing.
made her Secretary of State, Larry Elder.
Yeah, because he knows she's a killer. He knows what's up.
Goes to Anita Broderick and says, "You better keep your mouth shut, or else."
Or
Nothing.
else.
Nothing.
And Larry, how is she so untouchable? Can you explain that to me? Like, I don't get.
Well,
how is
she did lose the election against Donald Trump in 2016 because her unfavorable ratings were as high, if not higher, than Donald Trump's. They kind of offset each other.
Wow, but I'm saying how is she that embedded with the FBI and the DOJ and she can literally kill someone and get away with it, literally,
allegedly,
allegedly, literally.
Well, I'm not going to concede about that part, but
Okay.
yeah, of course. I mean, the DNC wasn't fixed for her. Donna Brazile gave her campaign questions. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Debate questions to make sure she was going to win the nomination. Look, there's a conspiracy of interest with the media, Democratic Party, big tech, Hollywood, academia, and we're against. And they're united against Republicans. They believe Republicans are bad people or evil people, only care about the rich. That if you are pro-life, you're anti-female. If you want strong borders, you're a racist. That's how they feel.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a nice, good night. Glad to show y'all these videos. It's been a good one. Peace.